This young man saw a picture on his Kindle and said, "Hey mom, is that God?" This is the indoctrination that someone tried to pity me for, but really it was just crab in the barrel judgment BS. But I don't gotta address every ignorance here. I'm just gonna let them be ignorant. I'm indoctrinated. So are you. Make a better choice. Oh, you're trying to, but it's frozen. Got it. Anyway, this little image comes up on his screen of this, white guy with all these muscles with gray hair, looking like a Greek god. And Michael was like, "Hey mom, is that God?" And I was like, "No." I was like, he was like, "Then what does God look like?" And I was like, No. You want to tell your part?
I gotta go to the stove.
You gotta go to the stove.
Yeah, man, this ain't big enough.
Oh,
It's a tension. I need a tension bar. I told you. Yeah, come on. Let's roll.
Anyway, he said, "Is this what God looks like?" And I was like, "No, God doesn't look like that." And he was like, "Well, what does God look like?" And I said, "Me."
Where did this game come from?
And that's where our conversation ended, because he just looked at me crazy.
Because you know you're not God.
How does he know I'm not God?
Because you know what God is.
Who is God? If he just asked me, if some white man on his Kindle,
Yeah.
this white man,
Well, we know that's not God.
he doesn't know that. You just assume your kids know things that they were never taught, and that's what we will run into. He doesn't know who God is, or he wouldn't ask me who this man was. He said, "Mom, is that God?"
Oh, you got God on the picture?
There's no picture of God. What does God look like?
No, that's not God.
What
Who
is
is that?
Andre, what does God look like?
You look like the man in the sky.
All right, that's what God looks like.
Come on, y'all.
Dre, what does God
that-
look like?
That's not God. That's Zeus.
Yeah,
Man,
that's
that's not God though. That's a fake God.
I know. So what does God look like? If Michael
They
wants to
said-
know what God looks like, I told him
Hey,
God
dude.
looks like God looks like whatever he wants God to look like.
Oh, you know what? There's two things. One time he said, "If you see me, you will surely die." Another basis, he made us in his image, so we must look something like him. I don't know. Maybe spiritually we look like him.
So what does God look like? I said God looks like me. Am I wrong?
They said that God's skin was bronze and nappy hair.
That's what they said. Jesus.
Yeah, that's Jesus. No one knows what God looks like. God has always presented himself in fire, in smoke, in trees. Like, God has always presented themselves. However, they've never been in physical form. So no one knows what God looks like. So in that respect, when Michael asked me, "What does God look like?" I said, "God looks like whatever you think God looks like." And then I said, "God looks like me." Why? Because my creator is God. I look like my mother and father, therefore I must look like my heavenly Father. Therefore, God looks like me.
What the heck is that, boy?
Angel was stalking mom and dad.
Why? Look at that. Why is she doing that? Maybe she likes that moment.
No, maybe.
That's all it could be.
Yeah, I'm not dismissing none of this behavior. All this behavior has roots and meaning and can develop into something that don't need to be.
Yeah, she shouldn't be sneaking, but I'm just saying maybe it's innocent. Maybe she's just like y'all not arguing or something.
Hey, Dad, come here.
I'm still going to address it and have the conversation.
What's she sneaking?
Look,
Nothing.
I don't see nothing.
Angel is stalking you, guys.
I don't see nothing.
Look. Angel was stalking you guys.
This when we was dancing?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I don't know why.
No, we are slow dancing. Oh, she's recording through the outside window. Yeah, and that's when we were dancing. That's still behavior that I don't condone. There's a way to record
Come on,
people.
baby.
I get what she was doing. I understand what you're saying, Andre. I'm still going to talk to her about it. Back to you. Back to you. God looks like me. What does that say to you? Let's have the conversation.
It's always happened night and day.
I didn't any bother.
I don't know.
that your mom, but you're supposed to be God. You're supposed to have the clouds be.
Who said? Who said God has to have clouds around him? What if God wanted to come down and walk on earth? Do you think God's going to walk around with clouds following him? Or do you think he's going to try to blend in, or they're going to try to blend in? Because is God a male? Is God a female? Is God...
He's a male.
He's a male?
Yeah.
We'll rock with it. My God's a they. When I was younger, God
Hey,
was
Alexa.
male. No, don't ask Alexa. Look, no one can define God for you. Do you understand?
Okay.
See, there's some things that the world's going to tell you. There's some things that your dad's going to tell you. There's some things your brothers and sisters are going to tell you. Your siblings are going to tell you. There's stuff that your mom's going to tell you. And you take all of that information and you draw your own conclusions. You understand? Listen. No one tells you how to think. They just give you things to think about. Do you understand? So you don't need to think like mommy. You don't need to think like daddy. You don't need to think like your brothers, your sisters, and your siblings. You need to think like Michael. But you can listen to all of us and then figure out what you think. So if at present you believe that God walks around with clouds, then God walks around with clouds. But based off of my experience and based on the other experience of the people you talk about God with, they may help you change that thought a little bit because now you're getting more information. You know, God's not limited. God can look how daddy thinks God looks. God can look like how mommy thinks God looks. Bailey, Andre. God can look like what you think God looks like. If you can imagine what God looks like, what does God look like?
A random person walking around with clouds and wear some clothes and doing nice things. God in the whole entire world. Making sure we're all good. But I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna tell you the rules. You supposed to not wait. I'm gonna tell you the rules of God's Son.